out this gem. Just this masterpiece. So let's go through it real quick. This is a Canon 514 XL, as you can tell. This fun little nameplate right there. This camera is a Super 8 camera, as you can see by the cartridge, and this is not how it normally looks. As I'm sure you can imagine, I've taken it apart. No shit. Here is the front plate, or the side plate, I suppose, that usually sits on here. Sorry, I got a Minolta also torn apart right next to me, so I'm kind of fighting for room. But anyway, this one wasn't working, and now it does, so that is good. It was really, I genuinely don't know what I did. I just kind of took it apart, and it has started working, so I'm gonna call that a win and not ask too many questions, and then if I'm putting it back together, we will see if that's still working. What I think happened was this little switch here, these two contacts are for the different speeds. So you got 9 and then 18, I think. Yeah, 18 and 9. And it was just a little bit off, so it wasn't quite hitting. Because if you put it like right there, nothing. But if you put it there you go, 9. 18. Fantastic. Love to see it. So now that that is done, the other issue was the zoom. There was a very good video going over how to take this apart and put it back together, and I don't want to steal that person's, I think it was a dude. Anyway, don't want to steal that channel's views, so I will put that video down below, but I'm going to do my own video because we're here, I've got it, so let's talk about it. And there's a few things that he doesn't cover necessarily, which isn't a big thing because I think he does a really good job. It helped me understand how to get this apart, so anyway, we'll talk about the components in here right now. What I want to point out is, look at this. I don't know if you can, so you can see how that is actuating. The, what is this? Zoom in is pushing this onto a gear there, and then the zoom out is pushing that gear onto that gear there. It's an ingenious method upon looking at it. You can see it working right there. The issue is typically in literally every other Super 8 video camera that I've worked on, there's been 2 motors. So my suspicion was this was not working because it wasn't attached to a motor, or the motor wasn't working, or something like that. However, there's only one motor, which is sitting right there, which is interesting. However, the issues are that you're limited with that like singular motor. You can't really run too much to it, which is why I think it only has 2 shutter speeds, and you can only use the zoom in and out features when the motor's running. So that all makes sense. That checks out. So yeah, that is pretty much it for that. Here we have the LED for the battery check. Right there. Let's see. I mean, that's pretty much it. The on-off switch is right there, as you can tell, and this is going to be controlling those 2 contacts hitting right there. There was something else I wanted to talk about while we were here. Base principles You have to have it running in order for the zoom to work, power zoom at least. Oh yes, let's talk about this. So before I knew things, not to say that I currently do know things, but before I had a better understanding of things, I had no clue how auto exposure was supposed to work on these cameras. And now it makes a little bit more sense. So we have here, it came with this camera, Super 8 cartridge. So we're gonna load it in, and then I'm going to show you what it happens. So if you'll notice, this gets pressed up, and this doesn't move. And basically, each one of these has different notches in it that kind of compute to what style film you're shooting. So this is 50D, so that input will run to here. I believe it's 50 and like 100 maybe. These two notches will then effectively input information much like you would with the ASA dial in a camera. It's just a little bit more mechanical, less difficult, or more difficult to manipulate yourself. Yeah, I mean, it's very basic. You have a photo cell right there. And this photo cell, I believe, is fed through here, through this prism system, which is a very intricate prism system. For kind of a, like, this, I mean, I'll be honest, this is kind of a cheap camera. It's all plastic. It's very compact, which I think is great, but you would likely not see a professional running around with this. Just, I mean, back in the day, that is. Currently, this is like a hot commodity, and I don't blame people, but, you know, anywho.